He's Nigeria's magical painter. You stare at his paintings and you can see and feel reality more than a photo can show. You could say he exaggerates reality in his paintings, but it's simply called hyper-realism. People call him the gifted hands. There are those who liken him to the great Italian polymath and painter Leonardo da Vinci. How well Olumide has used his gift to improve the art industry in Nigeria is a wonder. Today, we will tell his story and learn 5 secrets of his success in painting.
Hello, I'm Olumide. You're welcome. Let's go. You're welcome. This is where I buried my mom, and this is where I've been working all this while over the period of 8 years. And you can feel free to. Why hat? You don't tell. I've been working over a period of 20 years now on this kind of things that people have seen. And apart from the fact that I started painting at the age of 9 and I started drawing at the age of 4. So it's something I love and it's like a passion to me. And I can't do without it. This is what is making me who I am. I'm nothing without his arts. Created some of my hyper-realism paintings by first of all thinking of the concept I wanted to paint. I have the idea in mind and how I'm going to go about it. Sometimes it could take me like 2 days or 3 days before I can draw one single line, because the thinking is almost taking like 70% of the creation. So I could not get the idea well for my mind. Say, okay, this is how I'm going to start it, this is how I'm going to end it to. So when I now think of when I want to start, because I have to have the urge, the thing has to be in my mind every seconds for me to say I can just bounce on the canvas, say I want start. Okay, this particular one now, as I started, I created the idea of how I'm going to be creating the background with bluish and greenish background. So, and I now wanted to make sure that the color itself has a touch of green, bluish and reddish, because the background is going to be a colorful background. And the costume the man is wearing itself, you get bluish and reddish color. So just like other ones here too, I started by creating the environment by sourcing for the kit I'm going to be using. Like this one is not one of the series of the showers of blessing that went viral. So the kit that went viral, this is also the kit, but she has grown up here. I still try to use her because of the people want to see more of that particular little girl. So I started by drawing. When I draw this one, I lay the first color, I lay the second layers and the third layer. Sometimes it will take me like 3 or 4 layers. Sometimes it will take me like 7 to 8 layers, depending on how intricate the color is. And this one too, just like this one too. This one normally takes like 4 layers because the translucent effect is quite different from this other one. Because you can see the translucent effect here. The water doesn't have, it's not dot, it's still flowing. So it's like a glass on the skin. So you can see for yourself, you can see the mouth, the translucent effect is there. When you see it from the camera, you can be able to feel the water from differentiate the water from the skin. So those are the things that make this work interesting, at the same time difficult for me, because it takes me a lot of time, a lot of energy, because I have a passion. So there's no way I can just say I'm going to leave it to his fate, because I'm the creator. So I have to enjoy it to the end. Like this one too. This one self, it dey hard past every other one. This one is the most hardest among those. That's why I decided not to even sell this work, because a lot of people have made an inquiry about this work, and it's taking me longer time for me to even decide on when to sell it. Because of the translucent effect is 100% incredible. It's not something you can see anywhere. No artist around the world can create that transparency, because of the fact that I did something I enjoy, and the passion we are get for that. I have to put every power, every zeal, every energy into it. That's what happened to this kind of work too. You can see this work too. I create something. A lot of people in this world usually pray for money, but not everybody works, sweats to achieve, to get to that point of getting money. So it's like I try to create that illusion of you pray and I think that you sweat with your energy for you to get money for money to flow into your account. So that's why this boy was praying at the same time he's working, imaginary working, because he's dream of getting money at his young age, but he prays and also work. Just like this one too. This one was inspired by when I went to Australia. There's this little girl that was my neighbor. I decided to work with her, and I saw how beautiful she is, and decided to make her be in the water, we in the swimming pool. We went to the swimming pool together, and I decided to take the picture and work with her curly hair, and you can see the translucency at the same time in this one too. It's not something person will just say you will do within 2 weeks. You are finished. It can take you a month if you want to achieve better than what the camera can give you. So you can see from this one too. This is what I loved about hyper-realism. This is the best hyper-realism you can ever see in the world, because of the translucent effects that I've achieved. But not all hyper-realism artists can do that. So I've been able to do it and do it successfully. I usually start by having the concept in mind, and I go to the scene area where I wanted to take the picture. Probably sometimes I call some of my model, and I took some of the pictures that I felt is going to work well with my idea, and installed them in the system and started creating, choosing the best one I can work with. And you can see choosing the best one I can work with, and this one is what I'm working on right now. So when I choose it, I look at it critically on how I'm going to start, and then you can see the color. And I'll bring out my color. When I bring out my color, and I started putting the color on the palette one by one. Then when I'm satisfied with the colors I wanted to use, then I now started sketching out the paintings one by one. These are the colors I'm using. I'm using blue, greenish and red scheme. When I finished with the palette, then I started drawing with my brushes. My number one secret: be sure of your gifts. That is why I'm doing what I love doing. My number two secret: you have to be dedicated and passionate about what you are doing. I can spend like 8 months on a particular piece, as long as I'm sure of the results, and because of the passion I have for it, that is how I'm going to be successful in that particular journey. I've produced a lot of painting over the period of 8 years now, and I've been able to have the collection of like 300 paintings since I started practicing. Although some I sold a very small amount of money, but I have a top collector, one of my top collectors that have been buying my work over the period of 3 years now, and the range was like within about like 30,000 upward, you know, and presently is still one of my best collectors. Now my top collector is, I can say it's Yemisi Shilon, because he has been collecting my work before everybody else started new the kind of I've seen the feature of my art before every other person, and we are going to his house now because he has virtually every artist in Nigerian's painting artworks in his house, and he also has a museum that he has built over the period of like 5 years now, and in Nigeria, and he has donated some of my work to that museum as well. So we are going to his place now. You will see some of my paintings in his apartment.
It's so nice to be here. When I walked into this compound, the collection is just jaw-dropping. I'm so honored to be here, seated before you. For the benefit of those that are watching, we would love to meet you officially. Tell us about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm Prince Yemisi Shilon. I am Art News and ArtNet acknowledged me in 2016 as the largest private art collector in Africa, and also one of the largest 100 in the world. It's there for you to read. It's on the World Wide Web. And of course, I am the grand donor and chairman of council of the Yemisi Shilon Museum of Art in Lekki. I also am the founder and chief executive of the Omoba Yemisi Shilon Art Foundation, which specializes or who engages in promoting Nigerian art and culture to the world.
Wow. So such a long list of should I call it qualifications? It's quite.
Well, I've not told you my qualification. If I tell you my qualification, it's another story.
So I want to know.
Like, you want to know?
Yes.
Well, I'm a chartered engineer.
Okay.
I'm a legal practitioner. I am a chartered marketer. I have an MBA. I'm a licensed auctioneer. I'm a chartered stockbroker.
Okay, that is rather for my person. Educationally, I would say this is inspiring and at the same time intimidating. But it's like pushing us, really youngsters, to actually aspire to attain these positions that you've actually attained.
Fortunately, I got all my degrees before I was 40.
Wow. Wow. That's an impressive one, sir. So we came in contact with Olumide, and we want to know how you receive his artworks. He's gone viral, and his story is not actually complete without you being mentioned in it. So that's why we came down here to have this chat with you, sir.
Well, I want to say that Olumide is one of the best artists that ever came out of Nigeria.
Wow.
And of all the young artists in this country, he stands very in the position of primus inter pares. Olumide is a hyper-realist. Right from the time I met him, I was very impressed about his special skill Particularly, what attracted me to him was his use of water on human form. I mean, he started by looking at small children and producing very enticing and very hyper-realistic works of children having their baths, swimming, and so on and so forth. And over the years, I've had to collect about 30 works of Olumide Oresegun. The works are spread in this property and also in a similar property in Abeokuta, on the hilltop in Abeokuta. I wake up every day to see Olumide Oresegun. On my ceiling in my bedroom, there are 7 Olumide Oresegun's work in the ceiling of my bedroom, because it's an angular ceiling I have covering two floors in my bedroom, and there are 7 Olumide's works there, and they date from 2010. So the last time I collected it was 2018, because Olumide now is beyond my capability in acquiring his work.
Coming into this place and seeing this collection, so much collection of artworks, I want to ask, what does these artworks mean to you? What does it mean to you, especially that of Olumide? What do you like? How do you see them, collecting them? What does it mean to you as a person?
Well, let me tell you one thing. The works around me form part of my life. My life is not complete without artwork. I live amongst over 6,000 works of art, both in Lagos and Abeokuta. Forget about the ones in my museum. And they mean much to me in terms of, number one, giving me pleasure. They tend to create a form of recreation for me. And I'll tell you one thing. During COVID, I think I didn't leave this compound for months without realizing that I had not left this compound. Because there's so much to engage my mind. There is so much to give me pleasure. Look, Olumide's work, for instance, the 7 works in the ceiling of my bedroom. I'm never tired of it. Once in a while, I see the baby the boy that is bathing, is squatted. I see the one that is playing with food item. I see the one knitting cloth. I see the lady that is, under shower with water. And I see there's so much to interpret. It also engages my intellectual mind. I'm a pretentious intellectual, and so I spend a lot of time thinking, ruminating, wondering, and in the process of doing that, I never get tired, because by being surrounded by art gives me so much relaxation. Now, coming back to Olumide Oresegun's work, the more you look at it, the more you see something new. The more you look at Olumide Oresegun's work, the more you are fascinated about the passion in the work. There's a lot of passion. He exhibits a lot of passion in his work. The message is construed in his work. His style is very unique. The color mix is superb, very cool and relaxing, very recreative, and the concept behind this composition is usually very. There's one in Abeokuta, for instance. I think it's about 2 feet wide and about 5 feet long. Children playing inside in a stream. Many people will come to my dining table in Abeokuta and be wondering how a human being can capture children like this, as if they are physical, they are real. So, and of course, the more you look at it, the more you begin to wonder, you begin to get involved with his work. Olumide's work is very satisfying. Gives me a lot of satisfaction. And I'll tell you, I find it difficult to part with his work.
Okay, so looking at the industry, the Nigerian art industry, can you give us an overview? This industry seems to be neglected, or should I say, not celebrated enough in the country. Like the likes of the acting industry, the music industry, the art industry is not well, they are underrated, and it shouldn't be.
I won't use the word underrated. Art, a visual art is not underrated. The visual art is too important for an enlightened mind. You need to have an enlightened mind to appreciate art. You need to have a visionary mind. You need to have a discerning mind to appreciate art. And of course, secondly, we are not making conscious effort to teach our history to our children and expose our children to art. I mean, you find, for instance, a child who is beginning to draw. The parents will say, what are you doing? You won't have money to eat.
As somebody that is well-grounded in the art industry, what do you have to say to aspiring artists, youngsters coming up, to encourage them that, look, this career path is actually lucrative. It's not as mired or as they paint it to be.
Me, I'm not going to lean towards monetization of values. I'm not monetizing values.
Okay.
And this is part of the problem we have in this country. We monetize our values. We should look at issues from how important it is to development of the mind and how it can propagate and promote our culture, and how art goes a long way in encouraging creativity. For instance, as an engineer, my creativity is very sound because I have an art background. I mean, I used to draw when I was a kid. Now, if you are a doctor, if you are an artist, you'll be a better surgeon. You understand anatomy better than somebody who does not. So the creative mind is a very important mind. That's why in my long travels, about 70 countries in the world, I have found children, 6, 7, 8, being brought to museums, sitting down and being taught by teachers about, Picasso, the Blue Series, Renoir, Giovanni, Paul Rubens. They teach these children and they give them pencil and paper. They give them crayon to draw. They are not stupid. You develop the creative mind. Once you have a creative mind, you are able to go into many things very easily and more flawlessly than the ordinary mind that does not have the creative skill. I mean, look, right now I am sponsoring a television program for artists to expose them to parents and children so that they can realize there is a lot of potential in art, your child becoming an artist. On this Sunday, I mean, a professor of visual art at Taisholari demonstrated how you can use robotics to produce sculptures. She brought her computer to the studio. I was showing how you can use coding for promotion of art. So we need to expose our society to the fact that there is a lot of immense value in art beyond monetization.
Yeah.
Don't begin to talk about monetization. Just like what I promote engineering, people tend to ask, do you make money from an engineer? That's not the purpose. I didn't read engineering to become rich.
Okay. So, sir, we want to see the artworks
of Olumide Oresegun.
Yes.
Let's go.
Thank you very much.
I see Olumide every day I come to work. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Look at that salt.
Oh wow. That's your work?
Yes.
What year is that?
2012.
2012, yeah. This is one of his most famous works. This is 2014. Olumide, tell us about this work.
This was one of the works that I started creating when I discovered that
You can go to this side. Let him go to this.
when I discovered that there's going to be a life in creating water,
Come on.
and then I decided to put more life into water because I started painting water at around 2012. You can see the first work you mentioned at the entrance. Then I discovered that painting water is quite difficult and lifelike when you be able to put more passion and energy and effort into it. That's why I decided to like paint this particular piece.
Looking at this artwork, if you're looking at it from afar, you think it's actually pictures. Yeah. But coming close, it's you
can actually see the brushworks.
Yes.
That is to show that it's been created with hand. It's not photographed.
This is so beautiful. So
Very few people
yeah.
believe that this is painted.
Of course, when I was coming in,
they think it's photographed.
That was a picture.
That's why we call it hyper-realism. That's the meaning of hyper-realism.
Trying to do better than what
The photograph.
photograph can do.
Yeah.
So this is your office.
Yes.
And when you are staying, there's Olumide walk behind you.
Olumide.
Olumide, sorry. Do you have any other work of Olumide here in this?
No,
office?
we go out somewhere.
Okay, sir. So. Wow.
Olumide, discuss it.
Tell us about this work.
This particular work is another series of hyper-realism painting that depicts the translucent effect of glass and water. You can see the tip of those the mouth of the little girl. You can see that it's pressing on something.
Yes.
So I decided to make use of the sheen effect of that glass and carefully depict it to the extent that you can feel the lips, the beautiful lips of that girl, and the feelings, the droplet of those water in the glass. You can feel that particular droplet as well. So when you look far from that work, you can feel you won't be able to see that the difference between the glass and the skin tone and the girl behind the glass. But you'll be wondering what is the barrier between the face and the glass. We can't see there is a what we call merging the glass and the face and creating something illusion between the work.
Okay. How long would it take you normally to paint this?
Usually it takes me like 2 months to paint
Wow.
something like this. Yes.
2 months of dedicated work.
Yes.
Only 2 months.
Yes.
That's interesting.
This is
Okay, let's see another one.
Olumide told me that if you're an artist and you haven't been here, that means
you are not an artist.
you are not an artist.
That's Olumide for you. That's Olumide for you.
Olumide is everywhere. Okay.
This
Tell us
is
about this.
this is a little bit trying to appreciate our African culture.
African
and,
heritage.
Yeah, and African heritage at the same time. Looking at our parents dressed in the traditional way. And this was taken a day before their cultural days, primary school. So she was testing the attire when I what are you putting on? And I said, let me take this picture. This picture had to be in a record. So that was why I took the picture of her and I painted it. So, you know,
it actually happened.
It happened.
You just saw
so I just saw it and I captured it.
And
I recreated
it. Recreated it.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And that's him too. You can come here.
Okay. This is as real as a photograph.
Yes.
But it's expensive. When was this done?
This was done in 2013.
And this is 2016. That is 13.
This is 2013.
It's like 3 years interval. That's when I started using painting water. In 2013, I can vouch that there is no Nigerian artist that have been painting water. In 2013, I'm the only person. So, like, I'm the pioneer of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay. So, what inspired this one?
You know, this particular
random thoughts.
Yeah, random thought. At the same time, you know, this particular scene occurs usually when this girl normally whenever she comes back home, she will take a bath before going to the lesson. Okay. So she usually open the tap and, you know, where I was
under the tap
and stay under the tap, and I decided to, like, look, this one that you are always.
This actually happened.
Yes, it actually happened. So this one that you are always at the tap, instead of you to take a number back in the bucket, and so you usually stay. So that's why I decided to capture that activity.
So it's been an amazing time. We are still at the residence of the largest private art collector in Africa, and you can see this is the living area, and there
one of the living areas.
One of the living areas.
One of the many living areas.
That
I'm serious.
More living areas. Yeah, so and this is Olumide, the highly talented hyper-realistic artist, right?
Yeah. Third secret: be consistent. I've done this artwork, painting over 16 years now, and in 2016 the break came.
Coming here and seeing these magnificent structures, I mean, I'm like wowed, you know. Nobody would have thought it that this place actually exists in, should I say, Nigeria or even Lagos.
Yeah.
Okay, apart from being influenced by the environment, are there other, like, you know, influencers in terms of human beings and the likes of them, apart from these artworks that influences your creativity?
Well, you know, most of these artists that do all these magnificent artworks here, majority of them are some of my lecturers, like Kolaja Ishinowo, Adola Balogun, Lara Ejijak, and what's it called, Tony Ogunde, and the rest. So most of them have their artworks here. Even while I cannot visit their studio, I can come here and get inspired by their work. You know, those are the lecturers that I look after, that they have done something wonderful in the past and still doing something wonderful in the present. So all those people inspire me.
Yeah.
You know, I look through their profile, I look through their catalog. Sometimes I go to their exhibitions and I feel at home, you know, and I feel encouraged at the same time because they are making impact in the society, and I wanted to also make impact too. You know, most of the things they produce are one of its kind, so I wanted to be an artist that will produce something of one of the kind too.
So apart from these other, like your lecturers, people around that inspires you, aside this beautiful serene environment, how has your marriage inspired your paintings and creativity as a married man? You know, talk to me as a married man. I'm a bachelor.
You know, as a married man, you know, I get to be focused most times because as an artist, your first marriage is your artwork, your creativity. Wow. So I decided to let my wife understand that she has a first wife, she's the second. So
okay, the artwork comes before your wife.
Yes.
How did she take that?
She accepts it. because she knows that that's the place money comes from.
Okay.
So, and she took it as his own first wife, and she's the second wife. So and I've been enjoying my marriage, and at the same time she has been giving me this kind of support she needed to give me, and I've been happy.
Okay, apart from, let me ask you now, are there like clashes of interest, like when your wife would want your attention and your first wife, supposed first wife, which is your housework, also wants your attention? How do you combine, how do you manage them to keep both wives?
Usually when you understand that your first wife is with your husband, you will first of all give your first wife a chance of attention, okay. The honor, the respect that at least you met me. Okay. So when I'm not done, I attend to her as well. So that's how we have been able to adjust and settle our any differences that comes along. But at least all this while, she has been enjoying the flow, because initially she didn't believe there's money in her until he met me.
And
so she met me, sorry. So and I changed the narrative, you know.
That's good. That's a beautiful one. Talking about your, should I say, your best work so far, the work that has received much recognition, which would you say it is? Which one don't really go far? Which one don't expose you to the real world, to the outside world?
Yeah. I could say the showers of
Hey, Oga, you did disturb.
I could say it's showers of blessing, because
so going by your works, which would you say is actually the most viral? Like, which one exposed you to both art lovers and people with artistic mind and just neutrals? Which one you would really say expose you to the outer world?
You know, among all the works I've been doing, I think that showers of blessing, the lady, the girl with water flowing on her body, has made me who I am today, because the appreciation of that work is so massive. Over 6,000 views within a couple of days.
6,000 or
6 million.
6 million views.
Yes,
on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Wow.
And a lot of over 500,000 shares.
Wow.
You know,
that's massive.
That's so massive, and you know, a lot of people appreciate that work. And you know, it wasn't the kind of work that
you thought
I thought would, because then I was doing one particular work. I've already done that showers of blessing. I kept it. I was doing one particular work, and that one I was thinking, if I beat this
one would be the one that will blow.
Because I wasn't even thinking of blowing or thinking of painting something that would wow people. I was preparing for my exhibition. Okay. Which was supposed to be my 4th solo exhibition in Lagos. Then I was trying to do something very creative, very astonishing, outstanding, something that out of people I've never done before. So the showers of blessing and the 5 boys in the boats are the first and second work that I did. I'm preparing for that exhibition. I just, you know, out of love of people and art, and out of love of people that are following my Facebook page. Yeah. Then let me just post Jare before I know what is happening. People are just getting notification. Can I buy this? Can I? How much is this? How much is what? I'm preparing for my. I wasn't even thinking of money then. So how much is? What is happening? All the best. Before I went to the toilet, come back, I've already seen like 100 messages. What is happening? Before my battery will just run down. Then I was like, what is going on? What is happening? So I charged my phone back. Before the phone started, then I was using iPhone 5 or so. So before my phone started charging back, all the messages I've got to like 2,000 messages. I couldn't even read and even reply.
Because they keep
Before
coming.
they keep coming.
Mm.
Before I woke up the following day, I just
And the views were increasing.
like the views I just start seeing people calling me. I just first of all I got CNN. I was like, what is happening? So I never knew that somebody must have shared it to BBC.
CNN and all those places, yeah.
They called me in the morning around 8 o'clock. I was like, 8 o'clock. You know, this am I Olumide this and that. So that was how the
The world blew up.
The world blew up.
Did you eventually sell it?
I didn't want to sell it.
So you never sold it till now?
That's why I kept it in a private collection with somebody. So I don't want to even have the temptation to even sell it.
So
Because the kind of that kind of work is not something you want to see in any other places that you know
have access to.
Yes. So I don't
if
want
you had to value that showers of blessing, how much would you value it at right now?
right now. I think if we are looking at the kind of perception people look at the work that went viral, I think the work should be worth $1 million.
Okay. Look at money. Why did I not study this art something?
I think the work should be worth $1 million.
Okay. Apart from this beautiful side of people appreciating your work, what do you think? What would you say is some of the challenges you face when you are painting, when you are working? What are the most difficult parts of this enterprise?
Well, I would say most of the time artists usually face this kind of challenges, but it's the way you overcome it, the way you arrange yourself, discipline yourself will make you stand out. Sometimes when you paint and you are not getting the flow, the work, you might waste a lot of materials on a piece. There are some pieces I did far back 2012, 2011. Sometimes I fold it and I don't want to look at the work again.
And you must have spent lots of time painting.
Time, material wise, energy, everything into it.
But
and
it's not giving
me the zeal that I want. So that, and probably because I wasn't in a good mood. And there's another one I did when my mom, the day my mom died, I was painting that work. So whenever I look at that work, I was like,
to take you back.
It took me back. That
Yeah.
I can't finish this work. Those period of leaving the work in the studio for like long time, preparing for a burial and all sort of things like that. So it gives me that kind of remorse to like I'm painting and my mom was in the hospital,
You want the
so
flow,
the flow was not there, so the
inspiration.
spirit was just dead. I just left the work like. So there are some activities that of course in artist's life that will prompt you not to even continue a particular job that you are doing, a particular concept you are doing. Those are the things that challenged me at that time.
Okay.
And sometimes money at the early stage of your career, if you don't,
Money will be a problem.
money will be a problem.
What do you actually use money for?
Then I was so lucky that I was the best in my class then. So that encouraged that being a best among
in your class.
among these two, and I don't want to carry my file as an artist. You got this decision as an artist, and you now
You're
want to
moving around.
and now be moving on with your file to go and be searching for job in another sector.
So you wanted to practice
I
in your
wanted
sector.
to practice in my sector, so I decided no, even this thing I must accomplish, I must be the best of my, even outside the school. So then sometimes you give work to gallery, it might take like 4 months for you to get money, and your colleagues that are in the banking sector are getting salary whether they were monthly, so you will be waiting for like 4 months to get one.
And in that 4 months, there will be challenges. You will need money.
You need money. Within this, you pay bill, you pay
Yeah.
out, you feed yourself, you pay all these things. But because of the love and passion,
You keep going.
You keep going.
So basically now, what would you say is your best experience painting?
Yeah. When I usually paint, I always have this kind of mindset that this thing is going to be difficult.
You already assume that it's difficult.
It's difficult.
So if you see it difficult, you already know you're expecting it.
I'm expecting it. So I will now put the difficult part aspect somewhere and now look for what makes me to be an artist, which is the passion. So I now bring out the passion.
The passion will combat the difficulty.
They will now be, so whoever wins, whoever wins between them.
But the passion will always win.
The passion will always win.
Yeah.
So that's how we always accompany.
But has there been a time where the difficulty wins the passion? Have you been overwhelmed?
I've been
and
overwhelmed.
You just abandoned the work?
I've been overwhelmed several times. You know, then while I was staying in my former house, then usually when things get rough and you have to make some sacrifice, probably leave. You know, there was a time my parents said, okay, I think my sister said, this work that you are doing, is it going to pay you?
It's going to get you money.
It's going to get money. You are just doing it all this while. You're just painting. You know, even my father told me that there's a job at a police academy that I should come and join. You know, yes, now because he has the influence, he has connection in the police department.
Yeah.
So you know, those are the things that you're looking at, and
so you'll be confused. Should I go? Should I continue with this?
You know,
I know
nobody knows
not popular
you.
Here.
It's not popular here. Nobody knows you are an artist there. We're just in a small house working. You know.
But look at you today. You're the most celebrated. I mean, the first person to paint with water.
Yes.
In
the whole of Africa.
In Africa.
Yes.
So I think you've done quite well for yourself. You should actually celebrate this moment. That's why CNN is coming to you, Al Jazeera, BBC, and Free Life Media today. So we will have to take a walk around, show us around, show us explain some of these beautiful artworks we are seeing, like this one. These are done by great artists. This
is done by one of my lecturers, Adeola Balogun.
Oh, Adeola Balogun. Yeah. Okay.
Number 4 secret: be focused. You know, when you are focused, you'll be able to achieve what you aim from the beginning to the end. Your kids, your family might come and they get you distracted. So many things, social media can get you distracted, but when you are focused, you'll be able to achieve all your dreams.
What are your earning expectations? Like, how do you earn? Is it monthly? Is it weekly? Or how do you make money?
You know, like I said earlier on, most of the time, the money doesn't come like a monthly, like a salary. Sometimes it might come in a very low amount of money, and sometimes you might get huge, big. You're wondering whether you did a money ritual, you know.
Okay.
So that's how you've been able to fix and cope and manage yourself. You know, this industry is something that first of all you need to have the passion first. When you get before money. So when the passion comes before money.
But you need to pay bills.
And you need to pay bills. You know, you are in a country. That's why you need to, like, most times I used to tell people that, come on, if you want to do this work,
you have to be patient.
You have to be patient, and at the same time, you don't have to be flamboyant. Because when you want to be flamboyant, you want to like do more than
that.
You want to do more than what you are not earning.
Okay.
So you have to try to manage your career
and stay on a low
and stay and on your skill. You know what I did my skill. I developed my skill to the extent that nobody will say, "What are you doing?"
Your work speaks for itself.
Yeah, be able to speak for itself.
Okay, so
you know, that's how.
Would you say this industry is lucrative? Would you say this industry is as lucrative as other industries?
You know,
like the popular industry, like the music industry, the film industry.
You know, I wouldn't say it's lucrative, and I won't say it's
not lucrative
because it's boiled down to the individual.
Your personal skill.
Yeah, your personal skill will make it to be lucrative.
For you.
The more good you are the more it looks creative, the more people want to
Associate with you. Yeah.
People want to like buy your works, and you keep on producing every
And
now
making.
and then and making
Okay.
money, and at the same time enjoying it.
Okay.
You know, the first thing is for you to enjoy. When you enjoy it, the
You
money,
do more.
you will do more, and the money will keep on flowing.
Coming. Okay. So as a mentor in this industry, as somebody that is renowned as one of the best hyper-realistic artists in Africa, what advice do you have for youngsters, people that are coming behind you, people that are seeing you as their mentor, your mentees? What advice do you have for them? There's some encouragement.
You know, I would advise most of those 3D artists, like I would usually tell them, because most of them come to me and I give them advice. These are what you have to do, and this is the route I pass, and you have to pass that route as well to be able to complete. When you love a particular style and you develop it and nurture that particular style of painting.
So
like
there are styles
there
of
are-
painting.
there are
You
styles
don't
of-
have to just jump from
yeah,
there.
when you nurture, when you perfect that style, you can move to another place.
Like you now, you are well, you are grounded in that hyper.
Really.
Okay.
So I can move to another style.
Because you're already
You are very
established.
established. So
Okay.
when you are not established and you are jumping from one particular style that you have not understand,
So you should be known for a particular style of paint
you
first.
should be known. You first of all, when you are in school, when you are starting off, you'll be looking for different artists to learn from.
Okay.
So, but when you get your bearing and try to nurture it for like probably you practice for like 3 to 5 years on that one particular style, then you can move. When you find that probably you are not yet satisfied, you can move. But the time that you are going to be moving, it will look easier for you than
Because you already
you
know what
already
you're
know
doing.
what you are doing.
Yeah, you have learned the basics. So people, this is Free Life Media, and we've been talking with Olumide, and he's taking us through his journey. He's taking us through his works, and it's been so inspiring. It's been something out of this world. I came to a place, I'll say it's a living museum with lots of art collections. And Olumide, thank you very much for having us today. Devoting your time. The whole of today, Olumide has been here explaining artwork, telling us about art. I think I want to become an artist because it's lucrative.
You are free.
He has a work he can sell for $1 million. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. Number 5, be energetic. You have to put all your energy and effort into completing a painting. That will make you an artist.